Hello and welcome back to the Panther Sports Zone. I'm Dorian Waller.
And I'm Eric Lyle.
And Eric, let me just say, we got a great show in store today,
We sure do.
but I just want to start off by saying welcome back to you and myself. It's been a long time since we've both been on the desk. I think since around the LPGA Chevron Championship.
Yeah, it's been a minute, it's around mid-March. It was a great experience to be
hmm
able to meet with such interesting people in the sports world, these professional golfers and people who worked in our communications field. But like you said, we got a heck of a show slated for today, and I'm ready to get started.
I am too. So first, we're going to talk about a little bit about our football team. So the Prairie View A&M football team will be competing in the 2023 SWAC Championship. The Panthers clinched the West Division this past Saturday with a 21-14 win over Alabama State. On Saturday, the Panthers led the entire way, going up 14-0 in late in the third quarter before extending their lead to 21-7 with 8 minutes and 53 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Caleb Johnson led all Panthers rushers with 77 yards in the contest, picking up 5.5 yards per carry. Jamarius Brooks also added 43 yards on the ground, averaging 6.1 yards per carry. Chris Herron added in a catch on the move, picking up 54 yards and the touchdown. The Panthers look forward to a rematch versus Florida A&M, who finished the regular season, with an undefeated record. And Eric, I am definitely excited for the championship game. Parents had a chance to go and play Florida A&M in Florida at FAMU's campus a couple weeks ago, and it was a very disappointing loss. But that
Right,
was back when they were coming off a 2-game losing streak,
right,
and now they're on a 4-game winning streak ever since then. So I think there'll definitely be a renewed energy within this team.
right. Yeah, that previous loss, it was 7-45,
hmm
really devastating. But I truly believe that the team is in a different space right now. They've come off of four really strong wins, both on the road and away, especially a standout win against Southern
hmm
in Louisiana. That was a great win to watch and to behold. I'm excited to see what the team has for their finale
mm
in the
And I
championship.
was I was talking to our very own Caleb Carter,
hmm
about the game versus Southern, and he kind of mentioned how the game against Southern kind of gave him a renewed hope in the team, and I couldn't agree more. But for me, I feel like definitely the Southern game stood out to me, but I had a chance to talk to Coach Bubba after the homecoming win, and of course it might have been because it was his birthday, but he definitely seemed a little bit more rejuvenated about the squad compared to previous games. I
hmm
think the homecoming game and then followed by a great win at Southern, like we previously mentioned. I mean, I feel like that just gave the team the energy they really need to really give FAMU a good game coming up.
Right. They'll be able to strongly push through at the end of this season, and that's what you want. I'm proud of them for not being able for hanging their heads down
hmm
against for those early losses because the team was at a different state. They had kind of a rough preseason schedule before getting all into the
hmm
district and division play, but to handle themselves with such poise and to stay calm and weather the storm and be able to get across that hump and now find themselves in the SWAC championship is truly amazing to see.
And it's really good to see because the players have been given kind of a rejuvenated energy. We've been talking about that a lot. So as we continue with the show, and
hmm
just the rejuvenated energy has been translating not only on their faces, but you see them around campus, you see them online parading and stuff.
Right,
So
right.
I feel like the entire school, not only the football team, the coaches, but everybody are really in better spirits about this team as we move forward. And I'm really looking forward to that game. FAMU, they were talking a lot of trash, of course, heading into the matchup. I believe on November, no, excuse me, I believe it was October 28th where
Right.
they played FAMU for the homecoming. So, of course, FAMU was a little hyped up. They were playing for the
hmm
homecoming. And, of course, the Panthers might have came out a little flat,
Right.
flights to Florida, of course. So, I feel like with more time, more preparation, they have 2 weeks before the game, which is on December 2nd at Bragg's Memorial Stadium. So I just feel like the Panthers definitely will continue to work on some things. They'll be able to watch a lot film, and I definitely think a lot more fans will be out there this time for sure.
Hopefully so. We need that Panthers support. We need it
hmm
everywhere we go, and especially for the SWAC championship. But speaking of postseason play, we're gonna go ahead and transition to volleyball. The ladies Panthers volleyball season came to an unfortunate conclusion this past Saturday here at the Baby Dome. The number two Lady Panthers lost a five-set match against the number three FAMU 3-2. The Lady Panthers fought coming back from 2-0 to make the matchup interesting, but unfortunately fell short in the final set by 3 points. SWAC Freshman of the Year, Janai Henderson, recorded 10 kills and 6 blocks in the night, while her fellow All-SWAC first teamer, Kylie Owens, added in her own dominant 15-kill performance. Two of the Ladies Panthers added in key performances, with Nia Walker adding 15 kills and 3 blocks on the night, and Bailey Hewitt with 6 kills and 3 blocks as well. The Lady Panthers finished the season 19-13. Sophomore Kylie Owens and junior Leah Lawson were named to the SWAT tournament team. Our volleyball team, they suffered a bit of a harsh defeat this past weekend.
I mean, man.
We were lucky to have the games here in our own baby dome. They were able to reach towards the semifinals, and I've heard that you went. How did that go? How was that for you?
Man, I just want to say that side that I just gave wasn't a side of disappointment. I mean, our Lady Panthers gave so much effort, and it was a really inspiring performance. I mean, I couldn't be more proud of them, but I give that side because I honestly feel like we should be holding the SWAC championship right now. I mean, I 100% wholeheartedly believe we should be holding that trophy, but that comes with experience. And I'm going to kind of explain why I say that, because, of course, we talked about it a little bit earlier today. We have a very, very young team here with our volleyball team. We mentioned Janai Henderson, freshman of the year. Kylie Owens, I believe she's a sophomore or junior. So we have a lot of young talent on this team who still have opportunities to grow. With that being said, they did go down 0-2 in both matches against Texas Southern, which they actually managed to come back, and against FAMU, where they brought it to a set 5, but were unfortunately, fell short. So I'm definitely, man, I just really believe if they really came out swinging as hard as we know they could, perform like they did in the final 3 sets compared to the first 2, I feel like we would really be holding this title. And I'm just kind of disappointed. Not disappointed in them, but just disappointed in the fact that I know that if they just came out harder at the very beginning, man, they'd have gold.
Yeah, it would have been a wonderful thing to see our Lady Panthers be able to pull it out here at home. But volleyball is such a huge game of momentum, and you can't afford to have so many bad starts in a row, especially in the tournament setting. Because what you do in the last game, it simply won't fly against better opponents. I believe they went against Southern, right? And they had that 2-0, that 0-2 start, and they just to do it again against FAMU. They're a better team. They're ranked number 3. It's just they'll be able to take advantage, and it bit them back in the behind once again. But like everything, it's a learning experience, and hopefully with our young team, we have a bunch of talent that isn't going anywhere. They'll be able to strike back with a vengeance and with a chip on their shoulder next year.
I agree 100%.
I'm definitely excited to see what's going on.
And with that team, they did have a couple about 6 or 7 graduating seniors, so it was kind of hurtful to see them exit in the locker room after the game. But like we just mentioned, this young talent, I'm definitely looking forward to them continuing this sustained success, hopefully. So yeah, it'll definitely be a rough off season, but they'll bounce back.
They'll bounce back. Despite the loss, the tournament still provided great footage and great insight. And our very own Shalise Nichols had a chance to cover the Ladies Panthers' journey throughout the tournament. Let's check it out.
During this past weekend, the SWAC Championship Tournament for volleyball was held right at home. The Lady Panthers held the number 2 seed in the SWAC Conference, and their first match was against TSU. In a nail-biting match, the Lady Panthers were down 2 sets, but came back in the last 3 to advance to the next round. Players to highlight for this match would have to be Bailey Hewitt, freshman outside hitter, who had a double-double of 12 kills and 19 digs, and Kylie Owens, sophomore outside hitter, who also dominated with an additional double-double for the team of 23 kills and 13 digs. Before the match, I got the chance to speak with senior DS Miyuki Johnson. Hey Panthers, it's Shalise Nichols with Panther Sports Zone, and I'm here with senior DS Miyuki.
Hi.
And today is their SWAC Championship Tournament. It's round 1, and I'm here before they play at 4 o'clock. I'm here asking some questions, and we're going to see how the PV Panthers are going to do today. So, Miyuki, how hard have you guys worked to get to the championships, and how's the team, effort and motivation going into this first match today?
So we worked really hard this season. We have a saying in our gym, be where your feet are. So we get 2 hours a day where we're just strictly focused on volleyball. And I just think we worked really hard, and we work together as a team, and we play for each other. So
that says a lot. Being the number 2 seed in this tournament, going against Texas Southern, our rivals. How does that team cooperation and like the friendship translate onto the court?
Yeah, so we do play Texas Southern. We did beat them twice prior, so we're all in good spirits for this game. We work really well as a team. It's really a big sister, little sister type thing on the team, and which I really love about it. We care for each other. It's really genuine, and that's the biggest thing that makes us such a good team.
As a senior and as a DS, how are you like in your leadership role? Do they really look up to you as a big sister, like you just said? And how do you like mentor them as they're gonna keep going up in their career?
Yeah, so our coach is big. Our coach, beginning of the season, she gave us mentors and mentees. So I do have a mentee, but yeah, as a senior, I think it is my responsibility to kind of like guide the way and show the girls just kind of the steps I took because I've been here for 4 years.
Advancing to the semifinals, the Panthers faced FAMU in another nail-biting match. The Lady Panthers fell behind with a 2-set loss but came back the next 2 sets by taking control of the game early on. During the last set, the Panthers gave their all in a hard-fought battle against the Rattlers, but fell short, ending the season 15-13, which closed out a great season for them. After the game, I got the chance to speak with freshman middle blocker Janiyah Henderson. Hey Panthers, I'm Shelly Snuckles, reporting for Panther Sports Zone, and I'm here with Janiyah Henderson. How are you?
I'm doing good. Kind of sad we lost, but I'll be fine.
So, as a freshman, you were deemed SWAC's Freshman of the Year. How was your reaction?
I was really thankful. It felt like all the work that I put in, like all the years playing volleyball and just practicing how I wanted to play, I feel like it really paid off. So.
And how was it making your first SWAC semifinals?
It felt great. I feel like PV, like people really doubted us. They didn't really expect us to do much this year, but Coach Lindsay, she really had a lot of faith in us, and she really put a lot of time into bettering this team, and I feel like it really showed. So I feel like we really earned our respect. In the next few years, it's going to show off for sure.
And for the last question, what can we expect from the team in the upcoming year?
Just intensity, high-level play, and just wanting it more next year. High-level play, just intensity, just all that.
Well, when we come back from break, we're going to talk a little bit about our men's and women's basketball teams. Stay tuned after the break. Welcome back to the Panther Sports Zone. Continuing today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about our women's basketball team. The Panthers women's basketball team went down in a rough loss to number 24 Washington State. The Panthers fell in regulation 81-43. The Panthers were led offensively by Ryan Payne, who put up 14 points. The Cougars were just simply too much for the Panthers, putting up a lethal 56 points in the paint and shooting a hot 50% from the field. The Panthers struggled on the offensive side of the ball, coughing it up 22 times and shooting a dismal 32% from the field. And let me just say, Eric, I had a chance to go to that game, and it was deflating to say the least. You know,
Right.
Of course, they are playing the number 24 team in the nation, so you have to give them a little leeway. But we were just expecting a little bit more of a game per se. But at the end of the day, definitely give them some leeway. This is the number 24 team in the nation we're talking about.
Yeah, it's early on in the season, and when you're going against these athletic teams, these these high major teams, it's hard. I know it can get hard. They'll put a lot of pressure. They make sure to take away the paint from you, forcing you to shoot jumpers, and then they apply a lot of ball pressure, and that leads to the 22 turnovers. But at the end of the day, you hope they learn from this. They take what Washington State did to them and apply it to other teams and be able to bounce back. I know that this isn't who they are. This isn't their type of season. But just to know that you have to make sure you prioritize ball security. And if the shot's not there, you just have to simply just try to rough it out. But it is a tough time against that type of talent. But despite that, how was the environment at the game while you were there?
Well, before the game, it was definitely lively. The coaches is this game is a part of the SWAC 12. Excuse me, the SWAC and Pac-12. So sorry for that. The SWAC and the Pac-12 Legacy Series. So the coaches, of course, posing for photo ops before the games. There's all smiles. The players are dapping up. But during the game, especially as the game progressed, it definitely got deflating. There were a good. I won't say there weren't too many fans there. I know there was other events going on campus, but there was a good amount of fans there, and as the game progressed, kind of felt the deflation in the crowd, especially because the Panthers kind of came out a little slow. It was really just the turnovers that took the momentum out the game for the Panthers, and they struggled mightily against Washington State's length. They had a 6'6" center coming off the bench, kind of as their ace per se, and that's just something you don't see in SWAC basketball every day.
You just don't.
They had a 6'4" center starting who was really the anchor for them on the defensive end and really just a lethal weapon for them on the offensive end. And that kind of took the Panthers out the game. Desiree Lewis, who's very often one of our key paint players, she was just kind of taken out of the game because there's just too much length, not only in the paint, but their guards just defending well, extending their arms, getting low, moving their feet. So the pressure that Washington State put on them was definitely a lot. But I don't expect to see the Panthers struggle too much like that. Like I keep saying, this is the number 24 team in the nation. This is Washington State we're talking about. So they have a very solid team and a very bigger team compared to what we're going to see in the SWAC. So, I just expect better.
Yeah, that's really it. It's just knowing your teammate, knowing your personnel. When you cough, it's just, I understand it's a 24 ranked team, but when the thing about turnovers is that, especially when it's live ball turnovers, you're giving the offense, a lot of easy opportunities. They're able to get buckets quick in transition and fast break. Your defense is set, and that quickens up the pace for them, and it keeps your offense out of touch. And that is just a two-pronged sword that's hard to navigate through. But that's not the end all. It's be all. It's only preseason game. We haven't gotten into any ranked play or anything yet. So the Lady Panthers will look to bounce back in their next game, an upcoming matchup versus Incarnate Word on November 27th, 5:30 in the Baby Dome. And as we transition, staying on basketball, moving on from our Lady Panthers to our men's basketball team, who's having a really stellar start to the season. They've been able to really pick things up recently. They've been able to catch absolute fire. They won their last 3 in a row. The Panthers pick up 3 big-time wins versus Abilene Christian University, UT Martin, and Eastern Kentucky. The win versus UT Martin in the Eastern Kentucky University Classic came after a stellar road win against ACU. The Panthers received big-time contributions from Brian Miles, Charles Smith IV, and Andre Noonley. Miles and Noonley both provided double-doubles for the Panthers, with Miles putting up 18 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks. Noonley added his own stellar performance of 10 points, 10 rebounds, 6 steals, and 4 assists, really filling up that stat sheet.
Wow.
Charles Smith IV put up 18 points in the tournament dub, grabbing 8 rebounds and dishing out 4 assists. And yesterday, the Panthers moved forward towards their next game against Eastern Kentucky University, where the Panthers came out with a gritty road victory versus a loud EKU crowd. The Panthers won 76-64 by 20 points off the bench from Charles Lane Jr. Lane hauled in 11 rebounds in addition to shooting 47% from the field. Nick Gonzalez and Charles Smith IV added in their own contributions on offense, combining for 27 points. Despite being out-rebounded, the Panthers recorded 10 steals, also holding the EKU to shooting splits of 34% from field goal and 28% from three-point territory. speaking about the 3-point line from our team, we've had our struggles shooting the ball from deep this year so far, but yesterday they shot 41.7% from three. That's a blistering percentage, and that allowed them to jump out ahead for most of the game, despite their getting out rebounded, and they were also able to get to the free throw line and make it at a high rate at 76%. But saying all of that, our men's basketball team has really gotten going.
Absolutely on fire right now.
And what do you think that bodes for our prospects, especially for the SWAC?
I mean, you just mentioned, them shooting 41% is definitely an improvement. They entered yesterday's game shooting 27% from three as a team. So hopefully we can see that sustained improvement as the season goes along. And, a lot of people are kind of questioning what this basketball team can be. They lost a couple of key players last season due to graduation, but I feel like amongst the entire SWAC, Southern lost their own backcourt.
Right.
Other teams also have suffered the same drop-off as Prairie View, so I definitely wouldn't count them out. I feel like moving forward and moving deeper into the season with wins like these over some bigger PWI schools even, I feel like this is definitely a good sign. And they just have to keep this momentum, don't let it get to your head too much. Keep your head down, stay humble. And I think Coach Smith is really going to instill that into them, And especially, we mentioned some of those defensive stats. I mean, I've just been thoroughly impressed with Andre Nunley. I mean, he was averaging 7 steals going into yesterday's game. He didn't record a steal yesterday, of course, but he still was very active, moving his feet, playing with his hands, just a very active night on the defensive end. And with that kind of effort, I know Coach Smith is loving it. I know we're loving it. I mean, it's just great to see.
Yeah, it's really great to see. I'm excited to see how this season goes because Coach Smith has a new batch of players to hang his defensive philosophies on, and this season it's really about unclouding the mystery that is in the SWAC, but that's also with this team. We had a lot of graduate students go out from last year, and we knew that they were they had more slanted towards offensive talent, and we know there were different variables to their game. But this year we have a new batch of Panthers ready to step up and take a mantle, and excited to see some more Panthers basketball in the future. The Panthers will now continue their lengthy road trip as they prepare to face Tulane on November 29th at 6 p.m. inside Avron B. Fogelman Arena.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the Panthers continue their road trip. Desperately want them to get back home playing. That's not going to be till I believe around mid-January. But man, I'm definitely excited now. Like we kind of talked about as we move deeper into the SWAC, I think there's definitely a lot of room for improvement still. And we have a team that's on a hot streak like this and that can still improve. I mean, that's just amazing. I mean, I believe like they can really. Honestly, I don't want to make too many predictions. I don't want to jinx anything, but I feel like we're definitely going to finish with a top seed in the SWAC this season.
I think so, too.
Yeah, I agree. I think we can do it. I mean, right now we have the second highest defensive rating in the SWAC, ranked behind Alabama State, who have played lesser competition than us so far. So I feel like when we get into the SWAC, we'll definitely be locked down. And that, of course, good defense turns into offense. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the Panthers continue.
Yeah, the habits this team is building will really settle in, and it will do well for the long run, especially as we get towards in the winter and early January and towards tournament play. But before we wrap up today's show, we'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Panther Sports Zone. To end off today's show, we're going to talk a little bit more about our football team. And, Eric, we kind of mentioned at the top of the show that we are really excited. I got a smile coming up on my face right now because I am definitely really excited to see this Panthers team go to FAMU and try to take the championship on their home field, man.
It's absolutely. I'm so excited. Like I can barely withhold myself because like it's huge to be able to see our team go to the SWAC championship, and if they're able to pull out a W, man, that's our
Means a
bragging
lot.
rights. That's our bragging rights for the next. That's for the rest of the year. We haven't been to SWAC. We haven't been to the SWAC championship ever since we saw Jackson State back when primetime Deion Sanders was coaching
2021.
there. But it'll be huge. I'm looking forward to seeing how many students are able to go out. We need as much support as we can get. And Dorian, do you have the details of when the game is going to be and where it's at and what time?
I do. So yes, definitely, Panthers fans. Y'all should definitely, if you can, of course, make the trip out there. The game will be on December 2nd at Braggs Memorial Stadium. Kickoff is scheduled for 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Central Time if you want to chill at home and watch it on ESPN2. But definitely any support is appreciated. You could be tweeting, Instagram, sending a player your support. Anything is definitely reasonable and definitely viable to support our Panthers. And of course, like we just mentioned, this is a very, very big game. I mean, this is the first time the Panthers have been to the SWAC championship since 2021, where they met prime time. So this year, I feel like they definitely have a good shot. They're coming in off momentum. They're coming in hot. They're coming in feeling themselves happy. I think we definitely have a chance to steal it. And I'm really, really looking forward to it.
And, if we advance, that means we advance to the Miracle Cup and we go against MEAC competition
in Atlanta,
Georgia.
December 16th.
December 16th. Man. So, but let's not look too far ahead. At the SWAC championship first. But you know what? I think that covers everything we need to do. We're excited for our football team. It's a happy time. It's a great time for Panther Sports at Prairie View. But that'll wrap up today's episode of the Panther Sports Zone. Make sure you tune in every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5:30 for more episodes. Thanks again for watching. I'm Eric Lyle.
And I'm Dorian Waller.
Thanks for watching.